Chaz, I know you worked really hard on the pitch this morning, but it just wasn't to be, was it?
No, we actually worked really hard Thursday, which was the last window of opportunity we had to get a cut on it and mark it out, knowing this weather was coming. And then obviously Thursday night when I sat down having my tea and I saw the weather warnings coming in, obviously started to think very smugly that we'd got the pitch ready. And at that point it looked like it was going to be dry today, but the weather changed very quickly. Strong winds, southerly direction, 1 degree either way, and you're either catching it all or you're catching nothing. And we caught enough to warrant the pitch unplayable in everybody's eyes, which is a bit disappointing for us. Obviously, first game we would have lost this year or this season, so yeah, kind of a bit deflated really.
I know you were speaking to the ref a lot when he arrived, and it looked like he'd sent you off to do bits. What had the ref said to you at that point?
I just gave him the facts really. I just explained what we'd done, where we were, how I felt the pitch would react based on the weather, with the rainfall predictions, and that was all really. It was just the facts really of where we were and what was happening. Try not to give my opinions too much because I'm not at that pay scale. It's up to them boys to make a decision based on what they see and what they saw. Obviously wasn't an open and shut case because they looked at 9 and then looked again at 11, and I think, to be honest, it was still touch and go. So it was the call went to not play the match, which is a good decision from a groundsman's point of view in one respect, because pitch wouldn't have looked like that in 2 hours, but obviously it's a bit disappointing and deflating when you work all as hard as you can to get these games on.
I wonder if you could clear something up for some curious people online who are questioning, if you knew the weather was coming, why were the pitch covers not put on? Can you just explain why that wasn't an idea? Okay,
so our pitch covers are frost covers, and if you've watched the videos, there's some really good close-up shots of it, and you can actually see the sunlight coming through, and they are for frost, so they protect down to 5 degrees below. We do not have rainwater covers. One of the reasons we do not have rainwater covers is because there's a huge volume of water you've got to put somewhere, and just for argument's sake, there was 20 millimetres of rain since midnight, and every millimetre of rain on that pitch is 7 tonnes of water, so 7 cubes of water, so 7 times 20. That water's got to go somewhere. So at the moment, we're not geared up for that sort of thing, and also, we're not required by the league to have those sorts of things. We are required to try and get games on during frost, but we weren't that far away from getting it played because they had to come back for a second bite of the cherry, and it was only because the rain had continued and the forecast is worse, which wouldn't have made any difference if there was covers on there or not, because if during the game it starts hammering down, as Boxing Day a couple of years ago, I think it was against Forest Green, they would have to call the game off halfway through. So yep, in an ideal world we'd have everything under the sun. We'd have a roof over the top, we'd have undersoil heating and everything else. So we didn't have them, so we can't use them. And even if we could use them, you still got to get rid of tons of water, and Devon County Council wouldn't be too impressed with us flooding Exeter.
So finally, what's that next 10 days or so before that game on the 2nd of March entail?
Well, again, boringly, weather. If the weather's good, temperatures are up, hopefully you'll have seen a bit of an improvement in the pitch in the last couple of weeks, due to all the work my full-timers and my volunteers have helped us with, which we're all really grateful for. And hopefully we won't get a storm the day before the game and things will be looking better. There's plenty of seed in there, there's fertiliser on there, there's aeration holes in there, so we're giving it every chance of being the best it possibly could. But I can say again, we only just lost that game, so we weren't a million miles away from where we needed to be, and our drains were working really well, but they were only just about coping with what was falling. So end of season we'll review that and hopefully make improvements, and we hopefully won't lose a game next season.